Anna Simpson here at Risk Minds International in London. Joining me now is Bo Boisen, Chief Risk Officer at Nordea Denmark. Thank you very much for joining me.
Well, thank you.
And how would you characterise the current state of risk regulation in the banking sector?
I would say very briefly, it's more fragile and more volatile. So if we sort of step back last year here at Risk Minds, we were talking about the upcoming elections in the European Parliament, the US elections, and we're sort of at an impasse, waiting for the last legislation to come through the pipeline, and then the results of the election. Now we have a new commission and a new parliament, and we know that they're committed to the Green Deal, the AI Act, Basel III finalization, and we had a US election, which gave a slightly different result, where now questions, will you have deregulation of the businesses? Will you have Basel IV or Basel III? I think they call it the end game implemented. And so I would say it's more volatile. And part of that volatility also comes from technological innovation. So AI, Gen AI, and that's slowly being rolled out. And that also fuels to this volatility.
And how is the rapid pace of that technological innovation influencing regulatory approaches to risk management?
So the new technological evolution is bringing us machine learning, AI, generative AI. These are all tools that can drive efficiency and lower costs. And it introduces, when employed in the businesses and in the banks, new risks. Bank of England recently came out with a speech on how they see the regulatory approach from their perspective. And they came with a dual approach. So on the micro-prudential, so that's within the firms, they're saying it's about having good data quality, good governance. It's about the explainability of the models. And at the second prong was the sort of macro-prudential level, where the Bank of England is looking more at the systemic impact of using these models. So if you imagine more banks having more models, how do these models interact with each other? And what does that mean for financial stability? And also, you can look at the vendor side of things. If we only have few suppliers of these models, there could also be a concentration element to this resilience. And so those are the two sort of approaches, the micro-prudential and the macro-prudential approach proposed so far.
And what role do you see for AI and machine learning in future risk regulation and compliance?
We already touched a little bit upon some of the good practices that we already have in model risk management, and they sort of prevail. Of course, there will be the AI Act in Europe, which is being implemented now. And then, of course, as we just talked about, the macro-prudential measures could also come into play here. And that would involve more stress testing at a sort of industry-wide stress tests to test the vulnerability of the system using AI models.
And what skills do you believe will be crucial for risk professionals in the coming years, given these innovations and changes within the industry?
I would say there are probably as many as 5 skills that are super important. So the first one is understanding geopolitics, macroeconomics, and even just plain politics. And that needs to be in a way that you can understand what are then the mitigations you have to do for your own firm. Then secondly, I would say strategic thinking, being capable of actually thinking ahead in these mitigations and aiding the business in making the right decisions. Then I would throw in regulatory acumen. So you need to be aware of all of the different regulations coming out and maybe not understand every single detail, but to be able to pull together how they interact with each other. And here I'm thinking about the AI Act, I'm thinking about DORA, I'm thinking about the Basel III endgame. Fourthly, I would say also technological acumen. So you need to understand all of these models and what they really mean. And then lastly, I would point to the sort of collaborative leadership. You need to be able to pull together across the business the different functional areas, so be it IT, be it compliance. So you have a collaborative and trusted advisor in the CRO.
So lots of areas to be working on there. Bo Boisen, thank you
Absolutely.
very much for joining me.
Thank you.